Warning, viewers' discretion is advised as it may contain mature or triggering content. Title: Unexpected Fates, Part 2. Almost a week had gone by since Ceres reviewed all the plans Ervo and Britina had made for their newest world. The two wanted it to be perfect, as it was the first time they'd be making emotions built into their handiwork. While Nuwa had offered to create new celestials of wrath and empathy, Ervo and Britina had fervently declined such. Ceres was in line with him, though he did ask if the two of them could get a power boost. Nuwa gladly accepted this, offering more power, and they were far more eager and rushing, while he hadn't yet selected an orb. However, now that he had, he stared at the cold black orb and he felt numb. Maybe it was from how abruptly he'd disconnected from his first world. He touched the black orb, feeling its energy grasp onto his. Out of all the planetal orbs in Nuwa's current collection, this one had been the closest to fading away. The darker the orb, the sooner it meets its death, before even getting the chance to shine as a new planet. At first, Nuwa was surprised, but she simply told him if it was the one he wished for, then so be it. That she was happy not to see her orbs vanish before they blossomed. It was as if it had called to him. Even now it felt like the dying orb was calling to him. He swiped his finger along the surface, spinning it. Right now it was nothingness, simply a black space within the universe. He stopped it from rotating before pulling it from the pedestal it sat on. He then headed for a table, placing the orb on a soft padded pillow and settling in a chair. "Shall we begin, Kaya, my new beloved planet?" As soon as he uttered the name, the pure black orb lightened, slowly changing from its dark and dreary color. He placed both hands on it, focusing his energy. "Kaya, I, Ceres, Celestial of Worlds, hereby form a pact with you. I give you my power, my heart, and my soul. Together we will form the strongest, most beautiful world out of you. I hope you accept this pact, and accept my powers, and show me your true form." Green and gold light filled the entire room as the pact was formed, and the orb's color was now brilliant. It was a gorgeous mix of teal, brown, and orange. There were very defined biomes already, which had not happened the first time he had created Estral. Estral had been a very hot planet all around. He had worked tirelessly to get the biomes and the air suited to living creatures. Kaya, however, was a hidden gem. There was hot, cold, and neutral areas within her. Of course, the plants had yet to be created, but he saw it, knew what they were meant to be, regardless of the plain, almost smooth surface. He was pulled from his thoughts as Ervo and Britina entered the room, walking up behind him to stare at the planet. "It's lovely looking," Britina said with a soft smile. "More so than Estral, no offense." "None taken. I have to agree, perhaps I put more of my heart and soul into creating this one." Ervo nodded. "Then, shall the three of us get to work?" They nodded, Ervo and Britina joining Ceres at the table. They each placed their hands on the orb, their fingers touching, before light flashed across the room, and then their bodies were gone. They reappeared inside the world, taking in the silence. There wasn't even a breeze. It was simply colors and the heat of the world beneath their bare feet. "I see we landed in the warm section of the world," Ervo stated as he walked along the orange and black ground. It looked as if the path they walked on was created by a living volcano. It was beautiful and strange at the same time. "I had hopes this planet would suit everything you guys had in mind. I know you don't plan to make mythical creatures, but that doesn't mean some creatures can't be rare to find, making them sort of like mysteries of the world." Britina nodded. "Yes, I love this idea. I also like the fact we're going with normal humans. Watching them progress should be fun. Gives me a bit more to work with rather than them having magic and not being as creative as they could be." Ervo touched the ground of the world, and the first sign of life spread across the ground. He created a finely light brown-colored grass. It would survive within the hotter temperatures, and it would help the soil flourish. As the grass swept out along the ground, the further it got from the higher temperatures, the greener it got. It was a very adaptable type of grass. It could even grow in the coldest areas, though it would be a darker brown. This grass would serve as a beacon, letting humans know if the land was fertile enough to grow things. He smiled as trees and other plants began to grow, watching the many different types sprout up. They weren't all good, either. Some of them could harm the humans, but this was one of the many ways Brittina's crafty hands would come into play. She would always serve as a voice within their minds, giving them little pushes to know what to do and how to do things. Soon the plant life within the hot region and the surrounding area was bustling. Meanwhile, Saras turned his attention to the remaining bits of touches he wished to grant this hot region. He stared up at the sky. It was lit up by a small star providing the world with almost a magical light and warmth. The hue of the sky seemed to be a light shade of pink, which was a switch up from Estrel's red sky. Silver wings slowly materialized on Saras's back, and he launched himself into the sky, his wings bringing wind and air to the world. He soared through the skies of Kaya, traveling at high speeds and offering wind and air to the entire planet in a span of only 20 minutes. By the time he was back to the spot they first arrived, Brittina and Ervo seemed to be working hard on creating the animals they wished to flourish within the hot region. While they worked on that, he took to the skies once more, staring at the even lands before raising a hand towards the ground and lifting it skyward. The ground shook and rumbled, before shooting upward and forming a large ridge of rocky mountains. He nodded, satisfied with it, before flying around some more and spotting a few areas that held no grass or trees. The surface was nothing but black. It was perfect. Saras's wings vanished, sending him plummeting to the ground, and he smashed into it. The ground gave way with ease, shattering into a million tiny glittering pieces, flying sky-high before falling back to the ground and creating a lovely span of black, sandy area. There were a few more spots that he did the same for. After he was finished making sandy areas, he turned his attention to the deeper section of the lands at the edge of the hot region that wouldn't be of use to anyone unless he turned it into an ocean. He smiled as his feet sank into the rich black sands of the bank. He closed his eyes before forming a blade in his hand, and then running it along his palm, letting the blood drip down into the solid surface. A few seconds went by before anything happened, before clear, silver-blue waters formed, rushing forwards and filling the depths with a crystal-clear liquid. It was perfection, and the thought of the creatures that would live within the waters made him smile. "I think this section is done." He headed back to Ervo and Brittina's location. They seemed to be done creating the creatures of this area, sounds of life filling his ears and warming his heart. Right now they were getting down to the more serious part of it, creating the humans. The two sat in front of each other, the vibrant gold of Brittina's wings wrapped gently around the brown-green of Ervo's as the two held hands, their eyes closed. A small part of Saras felt jealous that the two of them could be so close and in sync with each other that they didn't need to talk. Soon, a few small beings formed above their heads, their bodies slowly growing bigger and bigger. As they shifted and changed, there was a total of 28. These humans held an array of dark and lightly tanned flesh, their hair ranging from brown, black, silvers, even a few dirty blonde. It always amazed Saras watching as the creatures of their world were created. Their bodies slowly developed until they were old enough to stand on their own feet. Some stood taller than the others. They were all fairly well built, ready to start their venture upon the world. Their skin was already tougher than what it needed to be. Without powers, Brittina had worried that they would be killed by something before even getting the chance to flourish. So she asked they be created with strong, thick skin, helping them at least fend for themselves better. This was the plan for all the humans as well. Their eyes opened, but there was no thought behind them. They weren't fully alive yet. As of now, they were simply molds that would stand still for the time being and be protected by the planet itself as Ceres had made it so. Their eyes were all manners of color: blue, pink, purple, green, red, orange, brown, gold, silver. It seemed that Ervo wanted to grant them mystical appearances despite them only being human. Ceres couldn't blame him, though, and it made them look magnificent, even majestic. They finished up in the warm region before moving to the cold region, doing the same process there as they had done in the hot region. However, these people held pale skin, helping them blend into the cold and snowy surroundings. They all held light-colored hair: blues, silvers, light browns, blondes, even some had pink-tinted hair. It was a nice touch. He was sure those with the same color of hair as the sky would be held in high regard. Slowly but surely, this new world was coming together, all in a vibrant, colorful manner. Kaya, who was once nothing but darkness, would soon be unmatched to other worlds. To be continued. I hope you enjoyed this. I know I didn't have a lot of movement within the actual story. This one was more sort of a detail-oriented part, and I just wanted to show it to you guys, how they created the world and how they worked on it, and they formed it. With these extended stories, I'd like to get more details into them, so this could be why they are going to span over a decent amount of episodes. If it starts to feel boring to you for some reason, just let me know, but I certainly hope it doesn't. I love diving into the worlds within my mind, and being able to share them is even better. Now, I will say I struggled immensely trying to read this one off, but I got it done. Anyways, if you haven't, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!